No, thank you.
Hello YouTube, welcome. This is Weird Dirty Gaming's version 4.2. This supposedly is the final release of this RECALBOX image. It is a nice 32 gigabyte, should fit on most 32 gigs. Make sure to buy a quality SD card when you're burning these. The SanDisk Ultra is a great one. There's some links in the description if you want to see which ones I use, and I never have issues with them. I've never had them corrupt, and it's very, very rare that I don't have enough space to fit them on those SD cards, where when I buy cheaper ones, I have had those issues. So here's the image. We have Nintendo, 791 games. Nintendo 64, 303. That's pretty much all of them. Game Boy Advance, pretty much all of them at 1067. There's even some duplicates in there for the 2-in-1 games. Game Boy Color, 528. Game Boy, 490. Sega Mega Drive, 820, also known as Sega Genesis. And then the Sega Mega Drive 32X, also known as Sega Genesis 32X. That's all the games there. That's all the games here in Mega Drive. Sega Master System, 267. Sega Game Gear, 249. PC Engine, 384. MAME, which is your arcades, you have 2214. A really nice MAME. Neo Geo, 131. 25 of those are favorites. I'll show you favorites in just a moment here. Atari 2600, 648. MSX does work. It was actually broken on the previous builds. It's now fully functional. That's one of the big fixes on this version that the previous versions don't have. Favorites, and then you have Super NES 786, which is all of them, Nintendo 791, and we're back at the beginning. As you can see, you kind of get this little out and outer space theme. This is what it looks like when you're in the systems. It's very large. The screenshots are really big, so it's good for a small monitor. Really nice, easy to read. I don't like that the games are in italics, but other than that, it's decent. You can easily change this, though. Go to UI settings, and this on the full screen theme. I really like the comic book theme updated. Really beautiful. I think a lot of you are going to like this as well. So I would definitely change this. As you can see, then way nicer. The font is way easier to read, way larger. It's not italics. It has great photos. When you go back, the games are huge. This will update on reboot. It's still messed up here because it hasn't rebooted the system, but you should get all these backgrounds once you reboot. I'm actually going to reboot just to show you that, so you guys don't think I'm crazy.
All right, now we're back into the RECALBOX, and since we restarted, you can see all the systems now are showing the comic book theme, every single one, where before some of them were not. And as we go into each system as well, all the box art's still working great, and all of the image is now on the comic book theme. So if you want to change a theme on here, just go ahead and change it with hit start UI settings and then go ahead and restart. Now here's favorites, which is really cool. On your controller, you can hit Y to go ahead and launch Kodi at any time, or you can hit X to remove or add a favorite at any time. So I'm showing you here. That first, you can also sort. This is select on your controller, you can sort the games per any system by any of these defaults here. By default, it goes by file name with the favorites sitting at the top. You can also do favorites only mode, where it'll only show your favorites for that particular system, which is really nice because if you have like 800 games but you only want to see 100, this is an easy way to sort through all of the games very easily. You can also search by pressing select, like I'm going to go to S here, and then click A on my controller, Xbox 360, and I'm on S. And now if I want to add some of these to favorites, I'm just going to hit X again, X, 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 and it's just that easy, and it's that instant. And as you see, if I go back in, they're still favorited, and it stayed where I was last in that system. But let's say I go back to Super Nintendo here really quick, and then I just hard scroll up and go to the top. You'll see that the games I just added to my favorites are already updated. I don't need to restart the system or anything. But this feature you're seeing here where it fast scrolls, you just got to hold down, which is really nice for large collections. But there they are. They're all right there at the top now as well. So not only are they favorited on the correct letter, but also at the top of the system as well. It's that easy. The biggest drawback on this image is the controller setup. If you have an Xbox 360 or a PS3 style controller, or even the iBuffalo SNES, all those work for me. They're all USB controllers and they're not wireless. When I tried to use my Logitech F710, I had a really hard time setting it up. I couldn't set it up, actually. It froze when I went to configure it. So if you do need to do that, my understanding is you have to get the driver or the config files from RECALBOX. But if you do have any of the previous controllers as stated, like Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, it's going to be plug and play. As long as the controller's plugged in before you boot up, you'll have no issues pairing those controllers. But if you are running the F310 or 710, I was unable to get those ones to work, and you might have some of the more obscure controllers harder to work on this image. So I know there's not many of you out there using the obscure controllers, so it shouldn't be that big of an issue, but for those of you out there, just be aware that that is the case. So this is running RECALBOX 4.2, so it is updated, and MSX is now fixed. Here's a quick demo for you. MSX was not working on the version 2. By the way, there is loading screens. Hello, Smithers. That is on most of the games you'll see. And to exit out of the games, it's very easy on an Xbox 360. It's the middle glowing green button and start at the same time. It's that easy to enter and exit games. But as you can see here, MSX is working as well. Another cool feature on here is you have a favorites menu, and this is great, especially with all these games, is you can have one place for multi-systems with all your favorites. So you can have things from Neo Geo, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Nintendo, and have all your favorites in one place. Let's go ahead and try Metal Slug, a really classic game running on Neo Geo. And as you can see, it's in the favorites already. There's some really good games in favorites I highly recommend checking out. And all you would do here, this is normal, and then you're just going to insert tokens, and on here it's going to be select, both for arcade and Neo Geo games. Hit select, and then you're in the game. Here's some gameplay for you.
Mission 1, start. Heavy machine gun. Thank you.
And then let's play some MAME, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's check this out. Here we go. I was doing pretty good till the end there. All right, so there you have it. RECALBOX, We're Dirty Gaming, really cool. The music on here is set very high, so check your volume levels, as well as if you want to turn off the front end music, just hit start, going down to sound, and there's a front end music on off, select off, and it should work. If you want to put it back on, you do require a reset before it'll start playing again, but it's easy to do. It's kind of a mix of hip hop and retro gaming 8-bit music. Overall, I give this an A-. It's definitely a huge improvement from the original one. Updated Kodi, updated RECALBOX, updated controls. Everything is running fairly well. A couple of broken ROMs, and the configuration of adding a new controller could be a little difficult compared to RetroPie, but those are the only reasons why I'm downgrading this image. But it's definitely beautiful. It's definitely got a lot of potential, and I hope you liked it. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys on the next one.